Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon.
The views expressed in the program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participant of the broadcast.
It is now time for the New Life Show featuring Dr. SHERYL Armstrong every Thursday. Now, let's go live into the studio.
Greetings, WDDO. Hello, Mr. Ashley Bryan. I'm so happy to have you on the show today. I'm so happy that you logged on, and thank you so much. 980 AM WDDO 107.9 Macon, Georgia. I am so grateful to be here with my brother who plays on Oprah Winfrey Network on Napa Valley, Ashley Bryan. My brother, when I read your bio and I saw what you posted on today, well, it was on this week pertaining to mental health. And I was thinking, wow, it's Black History Month. And I would say this, issues pertaining to Black men, pertaining to mental health and men in general, but especially for Black men, we do not talk about that often. And you play a character as Christian King, I believe, as a bipolar character. But not only that, when I was watching the show on the first couple of episodes, I didn't even know you were playing a character with bipolar until when you mentioned to your mother that you were battling and you were, you guys had that conversation. And I was realizing with the Black male and his mother, Black man, play a part with your mother and how you discuss your bipolar. And I'm so sorry for the signal, but I really loved how you had that conversation with your mother. And Mr. Ashley Bryan, you have came a long way from being on different TV shows, going from Amazon to being on the Oprah Winfrey Network. And for you to take out time, I wanted to say thank you, and thank you for giving back at this particular moment. How do you see mental health within the Black community as we entered in 2022, but we came a long way from the Rodney King, from racism, trauma with the George Floyd case, and to know the pressures that we have as a Black male, and you are juggling, and happy belated birthday as well. I believe your birthday was last week, and you have family support. And how do you juggle your life as a Black male, being in the acting business and having your faith and having a family that actually supports you and in your craft and in your gift, but then yet giving back at the same time? And I'm sure that's a balance that you have to deal with mentally.
Yeah, it's a big balance, I think mental health,
I think your microphone is off. I'm sorry.
It's off. How do I adjust that?
I think the microphone is on the left. You just click it right there.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, think it's the microphone right on. It's the microphone
It's on the left side.
And it should turn on.
It says that it's on right now.
Let's see. Tony. I'm sorry. I think your microphone is off. Let me see if I can turn it on. I believe it's the microphone on the left side. And once you get your microphone on, I must tell them a background about you. Ashley Bryan is an actor, writer. He is starring in the new show Napa Valley. He is also known to be um, an actor that works in the wine industry. His background is
Can you
really
hear me now?
interesting on how he came from just be working for NC. Oh, I think, and is your microphone on now? I'm not too
Can
sure
you hear
yet.
me?
But
It's saying that
and he also appeared on the
volume is on.
on the Amazon series Harlem, on Grey's Anatomy, and on BET's All the Queen's Men. Ashley Bryan is located in Los Angeles, California, and as a Black male making it in today's society, he has really showed that he can do any and everything as a Black male, showing a role model example of great work ethic. It is phenomenal. It really is. And when we speak about Black male issues on mental health and seeking counseling, I would say contact Dr. SHERYL Armstrong at 478-449-0961. SHERYL Armstrong on Facebook to receive mental health counseling. Many of times we think we do not need to seek counseling, and we can pray out our way through these issues of mental health. But I would say contact a counselor, someone you can speak to on anything you may be going through in your life. Once again, we have Ashley Bryan. He's an actor, writer. He's known for the Butcher's Ballad, the 40-year-old virgin, 2020. He was on the TV show SWAT SWAT. His bio precedes itself. And to know that we have you in our presence, Ashley Bryan, you are a gift for Black males. You are a gift for people to say they can achieve and overachieve anything. And for you to play this part on the Oprah Winfrey Network and to be fearless, for you to present these ideas and stigmas on the Black male pertaining to mental health. We're taught to be a strong Black male, that we can juggle and handle everything on our own. And your character on the TV show really shows that you can have family support, you can have a balance, and then yet um, you can fight through something that people may not know what you are going through. And your character on the show, I was looking at your day in your life that you have on the jury. You can have the cards, and you can have the particular clothes, but no one do not know what you're going through on the inside. And that's why mental health is very important. Many times we can dress it up with a mask, and we can go through Black pain. And pertaining to mental health with the Black male, people may not be able to connect due to racism, due to not having certain programs out there, that we could be struggling with mental health, but we
Can you hear
need
me now?
more programs and intervention. And the topic is Black men's mental health matters. And what are effective ways of promoting Black men's mental health. And Ashley Bryan is so important to this topic because you play a character that suffers through bipolar, and that mental support really really connects with your family, and with you playing on a wine vineyard and having a wealthy family background, or you can be from a lower socioeconomic background. Family plays a vital role in the support for your mental health. What are some challenges that you probably have been through with your mental, of you getting in the acting business, or with you just being an human, a Black male human?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me or no? Still, the volume.
I'm sorry. It's probably the mic. I'm not sure. Let me see if the mic is on. We both. Oh, okay. We hear both of y'all. Oh, okay, great. Yeah. So, what are the challenges
So you can hear
that
me?
you may go through as a um, Black male human, that you're balancing your life mentally of achieving your goals?
I think that just being in the business alone is, it's a lot on your mental health. You're facing more rejection than almost any industry. So it's very important to have a strong foundation, a strong support group, and a strong network. For me, especially even with playing the role, and unfortunately, a lot of the stuff did get cut that really highlighted the mental illness aspect of Christian and Kings of Napa. But it was something that I really had an affinity towards, and I gravitated to because, I grew up around it, and I think it's a very important topic. I think it's something that is somewhat taboo in the community. And I definitely stand for, therapy and taking control and taking care of yourself, taking care of your mental well-being. So playing a character like that, honestly, for me was a gift. And it's something that, I want to continue to show strength within that. Are you able to hear me now, or because I still can't, I can't tell. Let me see.
Awesome.
Can you hear
And
me?
oh yes, I can hear you. Oh, can you hear me now?
I can hear you perfectly. Yes.
Okay, great. So with the Black male and dealing with a mental issue with the bipolar, how did you connect yourself with the character? And just because I believe your character challenges, it have to come with having a no fear background, because like sometimes we can get a little bit nervous to connect with a character that may can break a stigma in the Black community pertaining to mental health. uh,
Well, that was exactly the case for me, was to break a stigma and give a voice to people that might sometimes be ashamed, because I have family members very close to me that are bipolar and going through that. So for me, it was something that I grew up around, and it was very familiar to me. So when I got the opportunity, when I saw the audition, um, I was like, I want to play this role. I have to play this role. I was like, I don't think anybody could really um, give it what I could give it, because I've experienced and seen it a lot. So I've seen the highs and the lows. Um, and, that was what really landed for me. So, like I was saying, unfortunate side of it is like, because in TV, a lot of things get cut because of timing. There was a
mhm.
lot of moments, like in every episode, where I'm taking the medicine, and there was like, seeing how Christian coped with everything. He tries to cover up all this pain with wearing the flashy jewelry and, all this other stuff, and trying to be cool, which I felt was very synonymous to, like, just Black man struggle. We're taught to tough it out, sweep it under the rug, not show our emotion. And for me, things really shifted in my life when I started going to therapy and I started opening up. I started to kind of like take away the mask that a lot of us have to wear. Um, and those were things that I was really finding throughout the process with the character, you know.
Wow, that's very interesting because when I was looking up the reports on the Black and African American suicide rate that connects to mental health problems, and within my own family, we experience similar things with us that we may never would have thought, and that we never really have spoken of, pertaining to suicide and addressing issues that probably could have prevented suicide and mental health conditions and the trauma that close relatives may be going through. And those mental behaviors, we kind of just say, hey, let's pray away. Let's pray it away. Let's seek certain avenues such as, alcohol, drug abuse, drug addictions. And there's so many African American males that have grew up in the millennial generation and that have seen their fathers missing in action in the home, that probably was addicted, that probably have committed suicide. And the mental health of Black females and Black males and the rate of African Americans pertaining to suicide it's really saddening. And it looked like we don't have hope. It looked like we're not worth to live for. And what you're doing right now is really addressing healthcare as well for Black men and for their mental stability and mental health, and to look at social media and to feel like, hey, I got to be that cool guy. I got to fit in. Or someone who may be going through bullying, or someone that may be going through rejection and not feeling like and there's a lot of Black men that might feel like they are not good enough of being a good father or a good brother, or feeling like they've been thrown away from the system, being in prison. So many issues that Black men go through that we don't really talk about, and we may keep it on the inside. How did you cope with what you went through within your own family? How did you kind of like push through that?
Well, honestly, the weirdest thing was like I wasn't really aware of like a lot of the mental illness in my family until I started to study for this role.
Wow.
And I read the script with my mom, and she was like, "Oh my God," she's like, "This is like my life," and I'm like finding out all of these things about like different family members, and there was a lot of shame. There was a lot of shame,
Yes.
you know, because some of the closest people to me, I didn't know that they were fighting that fight. I
Wow.
saw how it looked. I saw the shape of it, but because of shame, I didn't even know. Like some of my closest relatives
Wow.
were going through that and had, bipolar,
Mhm.
because it's a thing that they're ashamed of. And that's what really even excited me more throughout the process of going in for this role. And, because you auditioned several times, it was something that I really wanted to step into, to just showcase that it's okay. It's okay to have these things. It's nothing to be ashamed about, and I feel like we struggle with that the most in the Black community,
Yes.
because we're taught to tough it out. Like our parents had it hard, really hard. I mean, not that we
Yes.
don't, but there was this system that has been passed down to just thug it out. Take care of yourself. You got this. You got to be
Yeah.
strong. The women got to be strong. The men got to be
Yes.
strong. You can't be like, your sexuality
Yes.
is a big taboo thing in the community where, we got to start loving each other. We got to start being more open with each other, being open to therapy, being open to just growth and vulnerability, because there's nothing to be ashamed of. Everyone is going through it, and that's the craziest thing. Like, people might look at a lot of entertainers, but I tell you, like, they're some of the most depressed people. Like, I used to work at a comedy club, and I saw, you know, a comedian who was just going through like a divorce situation, you know, some stuff. He's a big comedian, well, I won't say the name, but like, they were contemplating killing themselves.
Yes.
And from the outside looking in, you're like, yo, this
Never
is
known.
like, you got everything. You pulling up in the 550 Benz, you know, you're like famous, you're funny, like everybody. But like, you know, in the green room, that's not the story, you know.
Wow.
And that's not the, and so that was why I was just like, when I saw the role and everything, I was so excited to just be like, you know what, I want to be able to somewhat be an ambassador. And it was very important to me also to not caricaturize what it looks like.
Yes.
You know, because often it's something that you can't see. You see the actions and you see people in the highs and lows, but you don't know. And I think that we need to just be there more for each other, be more encouraging, be open to therapy.
Yes.
Because it really shifted a lot for me, you know, me going through therapy. And I also was like, nah, I don't need therapy. You know, that's for people crazy, you're going through some, you know, but I went through a breakup situation. I was in a very long-term relationship, like almost 8 years. And,
Wow.
you know, I just went into a very dark place where I couldn't focus. I couldn't work. And my therapist told me, like, hey, you should step away from acting for like a month. And I was like, in 10 years, I've never taken that kind of break off of auditioning and just trying to, you know, and I did. And 3 weeks out of that, I ended up auditioning for Kings of Napa.
Wow.
And I like, during that time, I was doing a lot of studying, trying to inform myself more on some of the things that my family members were struggling with mental illness. And yeah, you know, it's no judgment, man. Like, so many people are going through it. So many people in so many aspects that we just need more love and more openness.
I love the piece when you say we need more love and more openness. And I love what you say about shame. But one thing I would definitely tell you, many people have been through a lot within their relationships of being in a place for 8 years, 10 years, and being in a long-term relationship. And they feel like they cannot make it. And sometimes you feel like a piece of you have died. And that can come with a lot of love and giving yourself to someone. And one thing I would say, that you made it out of it. You came out of that dark place as a champion. And it takes work. It, you know, like we said, it takes therapy, it takes counseling. And I really do believe everyone should seek a counselor, a therapist.
Facts.
We've all been through something in life, and we can feel so empty on the inside. And even though you could be living, but you don't feel like you are you don't feel like you are alive. You just feel like you are existing sometimes. And people want to feel alive. They want their emotions back. They want their happiness back. And when you mentioned shame, I was reading something about toxic shame. It's a feeling that you are worthless. And I want to tell you what, you are giving people a lot of hope today that are feeling like they are worthless, that as if from a childhood, as a teenager, or even as an adult, that feeling is a pattern. And sometimes we have to become different between our shame and the guilt, and feeling as if we cannot become happy, joyful again, and finding our mental stability, and giving hope for a Black man to say, you know what, you may not have been the best father, but we want to give you hope. You may not have been the best person. You may not feel like mentally you are all the way there, but there's hope for you. There's therapy, there's counseling, and you can do this. And Mr. Ashley Bryan, you have exemplified that. Just for you to come on this webcast, just for you to come on this show today, and for you to say, you know what, I'm going to give back to Macon, Georgia, you know, down home, and you already in Los Angeles, California. You are giving people hope today, and you have given people some sort of opportunity to say, you know what, I need a sounding wall. I need that little brother talk. I need to talk to another brother to know what I'm feeling. And I really appreciate you today. And what is, we have 5 minutes left. What is any advice you want to give to someone that may be suffering with a mental illness or bipolar, or just feeling like I'm stressed out? I got a wife, I got baby mama, I got child support, I got kids, I got to go to work. They don't understand what it means to be a black man. I've have cheated. My wife don't understand. I got a whole lot going on. My daddy died. My mama died. I got to fix my car. I got to get 2 jobs. I mean, black man be going through. So it's just kind of like, Jesus, what do I do?
The advice I would give is, we are our most predominant thoughts. So the things that you're thinking about all the time, it becomes a reflection of who you are and your character. And something that has really worked for me was back on what you were saying about feeling worthless, feeling that you don't have the value. I literally talked to my therapist and I wrote down on my board, I am worthy. I am enough. I have a whiteboard in my room. And every time I wake up, I got to look at the board before I walk out of the door. When I come back in the room, I look at the board and I say these things out loud. I wrote down not only that, but the affirmations. So I start with my name, who I am. Like, I am Ashley. I am Ashley Bryan. I am Ashley Bryan. I am a brother. I am worthy. I am enough. I am attractive. I am. And you proclaim all of these things. And at the end of it, I got into my goals. Like, I will be a series regular. And these were all things that I was saying before they manifested. But I always say that would be my biggest advice, is just, to put positive thoughts out there and reinforce it by saying it out loud over and over and over.
Wow, I love that. And as we end, I want to always end off on a Bible scripture, because that would kind of help me throughout the day. And I love what you said, I am enough, I am worthy. John is 3 John 1-2. Dear friend, I pray that you may enjoy good health and that all may go well with you, even as your soul is getting along well. A cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bone. And then my favorite one is, do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and shun evil. This will bring health to your body and nourishment to your bones. And even as your soul prospers, that's my number one. God knows He have plans for you, plans to prosper you, even as your soul prospers. God has a plan for your life. And Mr. Ashley Bryan, everything you've been through in your life, God had a plan. From your family to where you are now, God was in that blueprint plan for you. And thank you so much. Guys, you can catch Napa Valley on the Oprah Winfrey Network. Mr. Ashley Bryan himself. Follow him on Instagram, Ashley Bryan. Thank you so much for tuning in, WDDO 980 AM 107.9. Mr. Ashley Bryan, all the way from Los Angeles, California, Napa Valley, playing Mr. Christian King. Thank you so much, Mr. Ashley Bryan. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, my brother.
You've been listening to Dr. SHERYL Armstrong, the New Life Show. That's here every Thursday, same time, same place. WDDO 980, 107.9 FM. That's the New Life Show.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions